If a customer is being rude to you, there's a fair chance that someone has made a mistake along the way, and an equally fair chance that someone else messed up again when trying to fix it. The customer's level of trust in your organisation may be fairly low, so you're going to have to work hard to turn that around. Start by simply listening. Let them vent and get their anger off their chest. Interrupting won't work here. Let them talk themselves out. At the same time, ascertain what the real issue is and try to understand why they're upset.
And then the next idiot went and ordered the exact same part again. So I've waited for a week again and now I still don't have the right part? And I've got people waiting on this, so I'm letting my own customers down because of you morons. It's just not acceptable.
Mr. Taylor, I agree. It's not acceptable and we have to do something to make this right for you. I can see that we've messed up, so I'm going to place the order for the correct part right now, and I'm going to confirm with you the part number so we can make sure it's the right one. Then I'm going to ask for it to be express couriered to you at our expense. Is that solution okay for you?
Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks.
By letting the customer vent, they get everything off their chest and are more than receptive to your solution. By listening carefully to what went wrong, you can then come up with the best solution to the situation, and by asking them if they're okay with your solution, you allow them a sense of control. So remember, listen, let them vent, and then focus on a solution that meets their needs. No one should have to put up with foul language or abuse from a customer. If you find yourself in this situation, you need to interrupt the customer.
John, while I'm more than happy to help you, I cannot do so if you continue to swear. Is that understood?
The last part is important. You need them to confirm that they understand. If the caller's behaviour does not change, you should be very clear about what will happen if they continue.
John, I want to help you, but I simply cannot if you continue to swear at me. If this happens again, I will have no option but to terminate our discussion. Is that clear?
This doesn't work. You would simply state,
John, you've left me no alternative but to terminate this conversation.
And walk away. Or if you're on the phone, hang up. Identifying an anxious customer is a relatively simple task if you know what you're looking for. These customers will exhibit specific behaviour, use certain words and phrases, and interact differently with you than a happy or a relaxed customer would. Your ability to recognise their anxiety will allow you to tailor your response and maximise the chance of getting the outcome you desire. When dealing face-to-face, you may well notice particular facial expressions. Things like sucking in of the lower lip, darting eyes, or swivelling of the head. When talking to an anxious customer, they might say things such as,
I'm worried that…
or
My friend said this wouldn't work because…
or
What happens if it doesn't work and I'm left with…
When you hear statements like these, it's important to address their anxiety straight away and get clarification from the customer that they are no longer anxious about those issues. Their tone of voice will also indicate their level of anxiety.
So do you think this is the best bike for a 40-year-old guy?
This is not an anxious customer.
So do you think this is the best bike for a 40-year-old guy?
There is definitely a level of anxiety here. If you don't address this customer's concerns, their anxiety may well prevent them from going through with the sale.
Well, I'd like to know a little more about his riding experience and fitness level. Then we can find the right bike for him, and I'll explain how our returns policy works, so you won't have to worry if he doesn't like the bike you've chosen.
Being able to recognise an anxious customer early on is important and will allow you to tailor your responses and find a solution quicker. Anxious customers want you to understand how they feel, although few will come straight out and say,
Hey, I'm really anxious.
You'll have to pick up on their anxiety, and when you do, it's important to show empathy, acknowledging their concerns are valid and making sure they realise they are dealing with someone who understands them.
I'm unsure of which plan I need. There's just so much information to wade through.
I know how you feel. When I first started working here, I felt the same way. There's a lot to take in, but I'm happy to talk you through each option because there are some major differences. Let's start with the basic plan.
This response acknowledges and validates the customer's concerns before focusing on the solution, stepping through the various plans.
I'm not sure which one to buy. There are so many, and I don't want to pick the wrong one.
There certainly are a lot of options, but I can help narrow them down for you based on quality, price, and features. Let's start with your budget.
Showing empathy puts the salesperson on the same page as the customer, and as a result, they'll be more receptive to discussing their concerns in detail, which should make finding a solution that fits much simpler. Customers have a surprisingly high tolerance for services that don't quite meet their expectations, but they have a low tolerance for companies that don't bother to listen when things go wrong. If a customer is disappointed about your products or services, then they're engaging with you to fix the problem. It's your responsibility to seize the opportunity and act on it.
The sales guy said this was easy to clean. Well, I've read the instructions 3 times and I can't get the thing open.
This type of feedback is invaluable and must be acted upon immediately. It may be that your sales or marketing departments are over-promising. Perhaps the product is defective, or maybe your staff have unintentionally painted a different picture in the customer's mind. Whatever the situation, a disappointed customer has highlighted a weakness in your organisation. They've helped you, and for that, they should be thanked.
Ken, thank you for letting me know. It's a new product and obviously we need to make some changes to the cleaning instructions. I'm going to have our service manager talk you through it right now, and I'll send you a gift voucher in the mail for bringing the issue to our attention.
A business that overpromises and underdelivers is a business that won't be around in the long term. When you're faced with a disappointed customer, ensure you act quickly to solve the problem, and then pass the information on to those in the organisation who can ensure the problem doesn't occur again.
Have you ever noticed how small bites of food taste better? Think about it. Party pies, mini quiches, cocktail franks, the list goes on. There's just something about smaller that tastes better. And the same goes for how we learn. Microlearning offers short, bite-sized lessons that have a specific focus on just one topic at a time, making them far easier to digest. If you're in a busy work environment, the last thing you want is your team spending valuable business hours stuck in a boring training course, especially when they only retain a tiny fraction of the information presented. Microlearning allows your team to learn, process, and apply new information in just a few minutes at a time. But people forget information quickly, and that's why repetition of learning is vital. Microlearning makes repetition much more palatable, with learners able to take in short bursts of information at a time. Want your team to learn how to handle difficult customers? Then focus on that alone. Get them to watch short video lessons on the same topic over the course of a week or a month, and watch their understanding, retention, and performance improvement grow. It means less wasted training time, more time putting skills into practice, and more time impressing customers. Decreased downtime and increased productivity? Sounds like a win-win. One of the beauties of microlearning is how it mimics the way modern learners behave in their day-to-day lives. Thanks to smartphones and social media, most employees today are conditioned to watch short videos online. Microlearning is aligned with this pattern of behaviour, making your team far more receptive to this type of training. In fact, 8 out of 10 learners prefer microlearning over traditional methods, with a 50% increase in engagement in shorter training compared to longer courses. Unlike traditional training courses that are bulked up for the sake of taking up valuable time, microlearning is training that's focused on the outcome. Microlearning keeps things short, sweet, and to the point, so you'll have plenty of room for dessert.